of Energy Commission to deliver her closing remark and to formally conclude the Energy Regulatory Insight 2025. Please welcome.
Thank you to the Master of Ceremony, distinguished speakers, panelists, and industry experts, exhibitors, members of the media, distinguished guests, our valued partners, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening and Salam Malaysia Madani again. Colleagues, industry leaders, regulators, researchers and friends, thank you for a full day of productive and rigorous dialogue at the first ever Energy Regulatory Insights ERI 2025. This forum was conceived to bring Malaysia's energy stakeholders together, share regulatory insights, and explore ideas that advance a reliable, sustainable, and equitable energy future. That intent was clearly framed in our invitation and the forum concept, and reflected in the program proceedings today. We opened the forum with one tone, whereby regulation must be our lighthouse, guiding the industry through complexity while safeguarding the rakyat. The agenda then moved deliberately through 2 insight sessions, feature addresses, parallel dialogues, and a high-level leaders in conversation panel, and this closing now. Each segment curated to surface practical ideas, build consensus, and align next steps for execution. Let me recap some of the discussions today. In the morning, we had the first insight session, the progress of our energy transition, which reaffirmed energy efficiency as our first fuel. We revisited NEAP 1.0 lessons, SAVE rebates, catalyzed behavior shifts, and MAPs gaining traction. The outcomes give confidence as we transition from voluntary efforts to mandatory compliance under the EECA 2024 law. For Insight Session number 2, Plan, Platform and Price, it took us through into the mechanics of planning, markets, and also in terms of tariff. We delved a bit into the progress since the new electricity tariff structure was announced this year, designed to reflect an evolving industry and market. Key elements, as you know, include a revised time of use scheme aligned to demand profiles, itemized charges for transparency, efficiency incentives for eligible consumption bands, and developed how this was developed throughout using the regulatory period IBR process. Importantly, 85% of domestic consumer bills remain unaffected, and the move from ICPT to automatic fuel adjustments, or AFA, enables monthly fuel cost pass-through, already yielding rebates since August 2025, and will continue in terms of our projections into the first quarter of 2026. Our parallel dialogues then moved from principle to practice across 4 tracks: energy efficiency regulation, technical safety regulation, planning and development, and market regulation. These tracks mirror the regulator's daily realities and challenges, updating risk-based codes for grid flexibility, rolling out EECA compliance pathways, sequencing market liberalization levers from tariff clarity to competition, structured to accelerate implementation for 2026 to 2030. And finally, the Leaders in Conversation panel puts energy within the broader context of the economy, finance, and society. Moderated, our very own Puan Nur Ayuni Zainal Abidin, Principal Assistant Director of the Energy Division of Ministry of Economy. The discussion we just recently heard brought together YB Liu Chin Tong, Professor Dr. Ong Kian Ming, and also Dato' Omar Siddiq to examine the energy trilemma, investment pathways, and innovation readiness. And I think I can conclude the discussion by a few keywords, which was from just in time to just in case, balance, prioritization, and of course, what's important is policy innovation and a whole of government approach coordinated across ministries and across implementing agencies. I think that's very important, which speaks to the heart of the ERI objective today, which is collaboration and coordination. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to distill 5 conclusions overall to move forward. First, pricing is anchored on principles around cost reflectivity, simplicity, cost recovery, efficiency signals, transparency, fairness, and affordability. Second, efficiency must be scaled via compliance as well. Third, technical and safety regulation must remain proportionate and yet enabling. Fourth, market design and economic regulation should keep refining methodologies and include newer developments such as how do we account for the ASEAN Power Grid or enable the ASEAN Power Grid and ASEAN integration on energy. And finally, fifth, stakeholder engagement and accountability are important through structured consultations, public reporting, and hopefully annual ERI sessions to keep delivery visible and also measurable. I would like to draw upon a few of Tan Sri KSN and also our chairman's speech, which is that our governance compass is Malaysia Madani and the Public Service Reform Agenda, or ARPA, where Madani values such as sustainability, care and compassion, respect, innovation, prosperity, and trust must be evident in our policy development, including those that still protect vulnerable groups, and also regulatory sandboxes that enable innovation responsibly and transparent performance reporting to build public confidence. All the reflections will help ST to fine-tune our regulatory mechanisms, strengthen public-private partnerships, prioritize investable pathways that ultimately deliver both energy resilience and social equity. Remember that energy transition is not only about megawatts or just profits or ringgits. It is at the end of the day about people. Cleaner energy improves health, reliability, supports livelihoods, and affordability safeguards dignity. With steady execution, policy coherence, regulatory predictability, investor confidence, and consumer protection, Malaysia's transition can be fair and transformative. On behalf of Suruhanjaya Tenaga, I thank everyone for your insights, your participation, and your partnership. Let us carry today's momentum beyond this hall and beyond the conversations today, turning ideas into executable steps, measures, and programs that will generate outcomes and value creation for all of Malaysians. Thank you very much. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Puan Siti Safina Abdul Saleh, Chief Executive Officer of ST, for your inspiring closing remarks and for guiding us through this remarkable day.